We are back. A short hiatus. Dan here with Lou. I'm in Arizona, Lou's in New York. Lou, how are you, brother?
Very good, very good. Yourself? Good to see you again.
Yeah, same here. I'm excited about this episode. This is one,
Yeah.
like, I won't speak for Lou, but I have a feeling he would agree that this might have been the hardest one for us to find pieces for. And if you're not familiar with the show, what we do is
Yes.
called Under the Influence, but I'm pretty sure we're clean. And and what we do is we pick a theme, and then we each create 3 clips of us demonstrating what we like about that influence, that drummer or band or whatever the theme is. And this one is sidemen. And we thought it was a great idea, and then we both kind of stumped ourselves like, oh, well, what do we play? So we both came up with some stuff. Lou, you go first with your clip, introduce your clip, and we go back and forth, folks, and chime in along the way. If you have
Yeah.
questions or comments, let us know who your influences are, even if you play a different instrument, even if you're just a music fan. But this is sidemen, so that would be, and we couldn't find any women, not that there aren't any, so don't jump all over that, but we found men who are sidemen whose music have been influences to us that we are each playing to clips. And I'm going to throw Lou a curveball on my turn. But Lou, go for it.
Well, yeah, and to tag on to what you said too is as I'm about to introduce my first one. Speaking of the side men, side women, my intention, you mentioned having us, having a tough time finding the right things to play to. My intention was to have a woman as one of my choices, but we have to be able to find the tracks that we can play to that we're allowed to use. And unfortunately, the tracks I was looking for that selection, I could not find one that would be usable and sound good and serve its purpose. So I had to change one of my selections originally because I did want to include one of the,
who would that have been if you'd like to give her a nod?
Sheila E.
Oh, nice.
I did want to have a Sheila E. clip in there, but I couldn't find a really good clip of the song that I wanted to use. So, unfortunately, I had to go another route for this one. But maybe in the future, when we're scouring things, I'm always looking for cool
all women. We'll do a show of all women drummers.
I think we really should. We've got enough episodes in to be able to do one now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to jump on in with this one, the Sidemen, this is one which I knew of the drummer before, when I was younger. I remember these songs, but I did not know that this drummer was a Sidemen. And Dan, I hope I'm going in the right order. When he started out, I recognized this drummer when he kind of, to me, burst on the scene with the Power Station. I was like, oh man, who's that rockin' drummer?
Yeah.
And not realizing he had been a long time, professional sideman and, studio session player. And Mr. Tony Thompson, rest in peace, Tony. And his playing with on La Freak, which and that such a great fun song, really just super pocket drumming for that era and that style of music. And Tony was such a hard-hitting, super solid drummer that when I discovered some of the tracks that he had played on before I knew him as the guy in Power Station, was surprised how many of the songs I knew. And wow, he's been on all of these tracks.
That's cool. Check this out, folks. Turn it up. Here's a clip from Lou. Check it out. Know is where's the mirrored ball? Where's the mirrored
I was just out of the camera. I just adjusted it wrong.
Both of us are that was really clean, by the way. But our
Thank you.
videos are both a little low on signal. I noticed that after I recorded mine, so we'll make them hotter. So, folks, when we play the clips, turn it up. That was really great. My turn. So, my first one is oh wow. Let me try to remember the order of mine.
Right?
They didn't load in order. Oh, I see. Okay, so all mine are live. All
Ooh,
mine are live, sidemen. And this first one is Peter Erskine playing with Steely Dan live, and he's playing Peg. But that was Rick Morata that recorded the original. So almost a
yeah,
sideman covering a sideman, if you will, right?
cool.
So I took a little section of that. Listen hard. My drums are, I should have put the mic somewhere else. My whole kit's not mic'd up. Anyways, here we go. Fun song. I love this song because of the rolling flow I feel that it has. Then when it goes into the chorus, that little offbeat, it's just a really smooth, fun song to play. Check it.
What?
Fun to play. And I also wanted to
Great
throw
stuff.
people a bit of a curveball because most people are used to seeing me on my big blue progressive obnoxious kit.
Yeah,
So I'm going to do all three on the little baby jazz kit.
I was just gonna say it's really cool to see you changed up the kit too. Now you got me thinking. It's like, man, I should probably switch up the kit sometime for an upcoming episode.
Yeah. Cool. What is your next one?
That was great. Yeah, but by the way, too, like that, what an awesome groove. That's probably one of my favorite Steely Dan.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
me
mean,
too.
there's so many great drummers and so many great Steely Dan songs, but
Yeah.
that feel and peg has always been one of my favorites. We use with my students at the school a lot too. That's
Oh,
always one
cool.
that comes up. A great one to work on with people.
That's great. That's great. For those who don't know, Lou teaches at School of Rock in New York City.
No, Bedford, just a little north of New York City. Yeah, well, there's quite a few in our area. We got a nice plethora of the program there. I mean, we're in Bedford, Bedford, New York.
That's awesome. What's your next
Um,
one? You're going to wow us with one of your next
this is
influences.
a fun one. This was a cool one. Like, you got to go with Mr. the legendary Jim Keltner, who's been on
Cool.
God, probably more recordings than anybody, right? I mean, Jim's played on just about everything,
Him and Hal
and
Blaine right there at the top. Yeah.
yeah, really. I mean, these, you look at
J.R.
when I was
Robinson. Those
going
two.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is easily one of the drummers that would be way up there with the biggest, lists of recordings. And you're just going through them like, my goodness, there's so many things I can choose from. And he goes, so many different styles and things. So I wanted to pick something that was a little different for what I would usually play because I, tend to lean into the rock stuff, being that that's where my loves are, the rock and hard rock and proggy things.
Yeah.
But Dreamweaver. Mr. Keltner on Dreamweaver, and his drumming on that was such a cool combination of nice little tasty moves, a little bit of cross stick, a little bit of, I mean, it really goes all over the place for such a laid back song.
That's
There's
true.
a lot in the drum part, and when I really started, I was having trouble picking like, well, what Keltner song to do, and then started listening to the drumming behind that and went, wow, that really, man, that's neat. It goes all over the place, lots of tasty little bits. So that was my
Cool.
choice.
All right. Check this out, folks. That's a great one. Can't wait to see it.
And leave tomorrow behind.
That was great. Nice
Ah,
touch.
nice. Yeah. Thank you. That
Yeah.
was a fun one to play. Hopefully, folks, my signal is good because
Yep.
I'm getting a crazy storm right overhead, right as we speak.
So far, so good. Steven, our producer, Steven Shinder, messaged me as well, said things are fine. So far we're hanging in there. Cool. My next one is also a live sidemen one, and that one is this one's kind of interesting because I'm playing to a live bootleg of Pink Floyd. So it's Nick Mason playing Carmine Apiece's part from Dogs of War that they
Oh.
asked Carmine to play drums on a Pink Floyd album. And I remember, I believe it was the very first full length interview I did with Carmine back in 2013, I think. And he said, and it was weird that I got that call. So I just showed up and I was in the studio and Nick was in the control room kind of helping. They just wanted my feel for this song. So I selected a section of the song where the beat goes from uh one one I'm fine, folks. I'm not having a stroke. Well, it goes from one kind of figure to a whole other kind of figure as far as the beat structure goes. And I had, if I remember, this is the one where I had a little not equipment fail, but an equipment modification all on its own. You'll see what I mean. Check it out.
Gee, Dan, that's a funny angle that you keep your symbol on.
Yeah. You know, it's like I've seen some guys, and I'm sure you have too, where often on the right side, if they have a China or a Peng, it's actually kind of tilted away from them.
Yeah.
And I asked someone, what is up with that? It's driving me nuts. And they said, when I hit it where it's even, like I hit mine, if it's a China on the full fat part of the, what I would call the rim before it indents, it concaves.
Uh-huh.
He said when he tilts it that way, he barely strikes that and gets a whole different sound, almost like coming down with your stick vertically on a crash that's set like this. So it's getting
Yes.
that effect, but it's tilted away from there. It just looks like, can you please fix that? That's some of the OCD in me, I guess. I don't know.
I saw that one jump away from you right in the
Yeah.
beginning there. Like, oh, there it goes. That was a really great part. Hey, I have a question for you about that part too, because you got to talk to Carmen about it and how you were saying that you selected that section of the song, how it goes into that feel. So on that track, is some of the track Nick and then goes into a part that's Carmine, or did Carmine do the whole song?
He did the whole song. That's a
It
great
is. Okay.
He did do the whole song because that first part sounds like it could, or the second part sounds like it could be Nick, actually.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I was wondering, like, when we're listening to the song, are we hearing a little of both of them play? But on the
Right.
studio track, that's just all Carmine. Then.
Yeah, and when you listen to the studio track, it's got that big fat sound that's a very heavy rock sound that's his signature, and that's why they got him. They wanted that heavier touch,
That's
which
cool.
is weird to me because I'm sure Nick can do it. Like
His
if you listen
drums
to
always
the older-
sounded big to me.
Yeah, if you listen to the older Pink Floyd before Dark Side of the Moon, there's some heavy. So I just thought that was weird, but it works.
Yeah. Yeah, and Carmine has a cool story about playing on Pink Floyd album.
Yeah.
Not too many other drummers can say that.
Yeah, only one.
Right?
Cool. What's your next one?
So I'm going along with some bigger rock stuff too. Nice little segue there. This one has always been just such a classic song that a lot of folks and myself as a kid, seeing Ozzy Osbourne and his band. Often the live album would have a different lineup, perhaps, than who might have recorded on the studio in some cases. I always thought that originally that this drum track was Tommy Aldridge, because that who you would always see visually playing this. And I remember having discussions with drummer friends over the years on, is this double bass? Is this bass drum and hi-hat? And a lot of, is it just triplets? Is it so Over the Mountain, that classic Ozzy intro with Lee Kerslake, the drummer on that. And it's, although Tommy always played it, it kind of became his thing to play it with double bass, and he even explains that on like his drum clinics and things. When he breaks down this part, he explains it with double bass, but Lee on the album, it's more of a Bonham style triplet with the hi-hat on the left foot in there. So on the original album,
exactly, it is. It's kind of like you're saying, which equals a quad really with the hi-hat going. It's just that it's not on another drum.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. So it's still that quad, as us drummers would call it, but you get that little bit of a triplet feel because there's such that soft note on the hi-hat pedal. It's still the three drums are emphasized really, and although it still has that same motion, and when Tommy plays it, it sounds just as big and powerful as well. But I always go for the original studio type of version on this one. And this was another one that was tricky to find a good version to be able to play along to and use on this one. But I really wanted to have this one as part of the episode.
That's cool. Let's check it out. Love that. That brings back, first of all, great job.
Thank you. Thanks. Fun one to play.
That brings back such great memories. I saw that tour on New Year's Eve. New Year's Day would have been 1983. So I was 19 when I saw that. And Randy and Rudy were in Quiet Riot and played at my high school just like 2 years before that.
Wow.
How crazy is that? And I was like 4 feet from Randy, just kneeling on his shins on the stage, doing a solo with his white Les Paul. I knew they were going places. And the funny thing is that I almost did Bark at the Moon, which would have been Tommy playing it live, but Carmine. Yeah. So, but I thought, I'm doing Carmine in this other one. So, and I was looking for something else to do of Tommy, but you nailed it. That was great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's such a great one.
It is. Instead, what I did was, what did I do? Oh, I ended up. Now this is interesting because this drummer played on this artist's studio album, but not this song that I'm playing a live version of. Are you with me, folks? This is Peter Gabriel's Red Rain, which was initially played by first. The hi-hat part only is played by Stuart Copeland. We'll get back to that in a moment. The hi-hat intro. The rest of the song is played by Rick Morato's brother, Jerry Morato's brother, Rick, on the original Red Rain version. But Manu Katché is playing it on this tour, and Manu played on the subsequent album or a couple other songs on that album. So it's kind of like, what's going on here? So, how astute is it of Peter Gabriel to say, I want to get Stuart Copeland to play the intro to this song, the first 4 measures on just the hi-hat, because he has mastered that instrument. So he flew Stuart to England, to his studios, to just play that beginning part. And you can hear him even like, you can hear him breathing in and revving up as he starts to...
That's great. I didn't know that was him. Now I gotta have to go listen again.
But here's the thing. and some comments on this video were saying, I don't like how Manu is playing it on an offbeat, but rather how compared to how the regular 4/4 goes. I played Manu's part because that's the sideman's part, filling in on tour. So that's what I did. And I had never heard this, never played it, came across it, listened to it once and said, oh, I'm going to do this before I forget. And I think I kind of pulled it off. Let's see. Turn it up. Weird, right?
Nice.
And I don't know if Manu said, "Hey, Pete, how about if I do this?" Or if Peter said, maybe you should do this." I don't know, but it's a whole different feel, right?
What a great part too. I forgot how cool the drumming in that one was. I think definitely got me wanting to go back and listen again too, just to note the parts and all. Nice cymbal chokes in there too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fun song to play either way. I found that a little challenging. There's like that drop beat in there every second, every other phrase or something like that. I'm surprised I think I picked it up so quick because I literally just listened to it. I thought, oh, that's so cool. And for Sideman doing it differently, just like Tommy did his own adaptation to what Lee's original piece, as you explained it, Over the Mountain, it just seemed to fit right in. And we didn't even know what each other was doing either. I barely know what I'm doing, let alone what you're doing. So.
But it's great to, like, we were talking on those sidemen subjects too, with like things that change a little. We've often covered Neil on the Rush side too, and I just came back from doing a festival with Limelight, and it made me thinking about when we do Working Man, I almost do like a combination version where I'll play the first part of the song, the whole verse for whole chorus, the way Rutsy did it, where those choruses are more, he's just driving that beat on the ride with some floor tom fills.
Right.
And then by the time we get to the middle of the song, I let the drum part sort of evolve into the way Neil plays it, where when you get to the choruses, he's doing those double bass blasts with the cymbal chokes.
Yeah.
So it kind of evolves through the different versions of Working Man as we play it, kind of giving nod to the way both drummers did it. And that's always kind of fun to get. And sometimes drummers come up and say, oh, I noticed you combined those two versions,
That's cool. For those of you who don't know, Lou is the drummer for Limelight, which is the longest standing, sitting, depending on which instrument, Rush tribute band, and they've been around actually since before Rush. How weird is that? But how long have you guys been around? It's been over 30 years, right?
Not quite. 23 years now. We're in our 23rd year, so of continually moving along.
who holds a job down that long, let alone being in a band that long? You know, that's
That's
pretty
the
extraordinary.
things that we, I mean, I appreciate you mentioning it. That's what we all kind of realized when we were hitting 20 just a couple years ago. I was like, wow, you know, for many of us, it's longer. You know, I've been with the school for 16 years. I love my work with the program and with the kids and all. But even that, it's like, you know, I've been in this band longer than I've been at my job, my career job. You know,
You were 8 years old, actually.
So yeah, it's something that just you know, something that we've always loved doing, and it's nice to, you know, keeps us on our toes, as we say.
That's cool. So I'm going to go ahead and announce what our next episode is on July 14th. Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah, a couple
Okay.
weeks coming right at it.
So I was telling Lou before we went live, I said, while I was recording my stuff, I thought of a whole other theme and I forgot it already. And as I was trying to remember it, I thought of a new theme. So we're going to go with that. And what we're going to do is we're going to play not first albums by bands, but first albums of a drummer joining an already existing band in the first album they did with that band. So you might think Alan White with Yes, Barrymore Barlow with Jethro Tull, Don Perry with Jethro Tull. You know, there's so many of these. It could even be Steely Dan. It could be Black Sabbath. It could be Ozzy Osbourne. It could be, you know, we can go on and on and on. Beef. So that's going to be our theme. Feel free to comment on this episode if you have some ideas or challenges you'd like to give us. I mean, Lou. And we'll check we'll check the comments whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or Vimeo. And that's it. Drum Talk TV's original series, Under the Influence, with Lou Caldarola and myself, Dan Shinder. Thanks, Lou.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Dan.
Absolutely. It looks like there's a divider right here, but we're actually in the same
I'm on the wrong side here.
There, Lou. Yeah, there you go. All right. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for following what we do here on Drum Talk TV. Check out our membership site, drumtalktvbrilliance.com. And if you're not sure yet, that's okay. Sign up for our newsletter. The link is in the post. We'll see you soon. Over and out.